Right, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Money Market. You're actually with me, Che Yusuf. So yeah, it's another week in terms of market outlook, how the market is looking, and again in terms of the fundamental news that are actually coming. So definitely the disclaimer: this is information is not purely directing you to actually buy a specific instrument. It's purely for education purpose. So before we go further in terms of our market, how the market is looking for this week, and again in terms of the fundamental events, we saw the market how it's been performing last week. Just a little bit of a recap in terms of last week market how it's been performing. There was a CPI consumer price index from US that comes hotter than expected. That's what the economists will say that it was actually hotter than expected, surpassing the estimation numbers in terms of the number that is being estimated, and the producers the consumer price index surpass that estimation number. On Thursday last week there was also producer price index PPI. It fell a little bit down, but not that much down. I think there was just a difference of 1% according to the numbers that actually come up. So those are the stuff that actually drive the market. Last week or so there's EU conference, a G7, in fact, G7 conference, whereby they were talking about increasing the budget to the Ukrainians so that they can be able to I don't know, to survive or to defend themselves. A lot of stories come last week. The other news that come last week, it's Elon Musk. Elon Musk actually won the battle that they had with their I think the members of the board of his company to win $68 billion. So he's gonna have a payout of $68 billion. I think the story it's about, before he joined his company, he tell the board members that give me this years, I'm gonna take this company to this level. Once this company getting to this level, I need the payment of this much. So he did that. He take the company to the specific level that they were having an agreement, and he was actually looking for his payout. So that's one of the interesting story that comes, and we saw from there the tech instrument having really rallying high. I mean, we saw Nasdaq getting all the way to 20,000. It never been there, all-time high. S&P 500, I think 5,030 something or 34. They're actually S&P 500 has hit all-time high 30 times in a year of 2024. So it actually break the level where they are, surpass, break again, surpass, break again for 30 times. That's really crazy in terms of how the market has been moving. So those are instruments. us30 we saw rallying, gold we saw depreciating a little bit because of the dollar index was getting all the way up. There was also a Federal Reserve chair speaking in terms of how they're gonna start cutting the interest rate. Some, the economists or the banks, they're saying they're gonna start cutting in July, which is next month, from 25 basis points. Some banks like Citibanks, they're saying maybe September, October to November. Some banks they're saying maybe November, December, and July. That's they're gonna start, in terms of cutting the rates. Some they're saying 25 basis points. So these are just the estimation in terms of different banks estimating the Federal Reserve they're going to cut the rates at this amount based on the data that has been coming. The data that has been coming from CPI, the data that has been coming from PPI, for non-farm payroll, how many people they've been employed, how many people they've been actually looking for the jobs, how many people they keep their jobs, how many companies they've been keeping, these jobs without firing people. So those are type of the data that these banks they're having the estimation in terms of the interest rate to be cut. All right. Now, coming this week, I think the first we saw a Boeing. To have Boeing, it's one of the biggest company in terms of airplane. So it had a little bit of a crisis of 737, which is one of their airplane. It crashes, and the story comes out that no, there's a certain parts that they've been installed at Boeing that they were not supposed to be installed on there. So that's another story. We saw Bank of Japan coming up and posing the rates, putting on in the same position so that they shouldn't go all the way, up. So those are type of stories that come last week. There've been a lot of stories that comes, but of course we can't go through all of them. But now we need to actually go through to the actually fundamental news that are actually coming this week. So let's jump to fundamental. The fundamental news of the week that are actually coming this week. All right. The disclaimer is that all information that we're giving here is purely for education purposes. It's not actually directly telling you what to trade and what to not to trade. So Monday, 17th of June, there's not much in terms of high impact volatility, but we can see 2:30 p.m. We have U.S. Empire State Manufacturing. That is actually the high impact only on Monday. But moving on Tuesday, on the 18th, there's an Australian dollar cash rate that is happening 6:30 a.m. And as well as RBA rate statement from Australia as well. Later on 2:30 p.m., there's a core retail sales that is happening also from US. We're expecting a lot of high impact volatility from US instrument and all correlated instrument on that, including US30, S&P 500, NASDAQ. They're going to have high impact volatility. Going on Wednesday, the 19th, there's a CPI year to year from Great British Pounds, high impact volatility there to all British Pounds instrument and all correlated, as well as UK 100, the German 30, to have also high movement in terms of high impact volatility. On Thursday, 12:45 a.m. on a Sydney session, we're seeing the New Zealand GDP that is actually coming from Thursday. High impact again volatility from NZD that is coming from GDP on 12:45 a.m. on a Sydney session. Later on 9:30 a.m. there's a Chinese the Swiss franc SNB monetary policy statement. There's also policy rate that is coming from Swiss franc, as well as press conference from also a Swiss franc as well. 1 p.m. there's a GDP monetary policy, so we're seeing a lot of monetary policy coming on Thursday. The GDP monetary policy official bank rate votes as well from Great British Pounds. So we are expecting high movement there from all British pounds and as well as all correlated instruments to the British pounds. At 2:30 p.m., there's an employment claim from US. That's where we're expecting high movement from US in terms of NASDAQ, US30, and as well as S&P 500. Gold as well might have high movement when the US, they're having events or they're having high impact volatility events. Moving on Friday. Okay. All right, moving on Friday, we are actually seeing the French flash manufacturing PMI and as well as German flash manufacturing PMI. So a lot of maybe instrument from France, they're going to have high impact volatility. German 30 is going to have high impact volatility as well. 10:30 a.m. there's a GDP flash manufacturing PMI as well. So a lot of movement when it comes to Eurozone that is going to happen from Thursday all the way to Friday. So that's how, in terms of high impact volatility, it's look like. And for now, maybe let's just check a little bit of the chart and see where the market is actually going. All right. We are actually, looking at silver. Silver has been pushing the price all the way, down. I'm anticipating maybe to come to these levels. This maybe to touch in these levels. Once it touches to this level, again, you can see it's double top that is actually been formed. So it might happen that it pushes the price all the way to this region. Once it breaks here, pushes the price all the way down to have a bigger in terms of, downtrend to this limit. So let me do this. So this could be your second take profit, but you can actually enter it once you break to this level. But remember, when it comes to Thursday and Friday, the move of the silver and gold is going to change and go all the way up again back to the price of 229.616. So that's silver. When it comes to gold, it's also performing exactly the same way. Once we go to bigger time frame, you don't want to get to this level. So gold shows a little bit of a head and shoulder. So we might actually seeing the continuation of a bearish movement. So that means once it breaks here, we are looking at 2301, 2301 to be the next target position. So a bearish movement in terms of these 2 days from Monday, Tuesday to Wednesday, we're expecting a bearish movement. But from Thursday, it will start picking up and now start changing the trend. It goes all the way up. So that's gold and silver. So we can getting to US 100 and as well as US 30. So US 30, we can already see already in a game, already in a trade. It's actually bearishing. This is where exactly we are actually anticipating maybe to get to these levels. Couple move to 3861. 3861, that's actually the target that we are actually anticipating for this instrument, right? Now this is US data. Nasdaq again sitting at 19,935. It's been bullish in terms of Nasdaq. I think the stocks, they've been goes all the way up, and we've seen how numbers come last week from PPI and as well as the CPI. They all surpass the estimation, numbers. So in that way, the stocks itself, they start getting the momentum, and you can see this stock like NAS 100 actually pushing the price really, 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 high. But my anticipation, I think, is to just drop a little bit, not too much, to 19,707, 717, somewhere around there, and a couple of pips. Of course, it will start retesting this position again, 19,907. So that means the instrument is getting to 20,000. That would be a new record once Nasdaq get to the 20,000. But I think it will want to retest it there, and then it will start pushing the price all the way back, right? By the end of Wednesday, it might get to 19,491. So that's NAS 100 and as well as US 30. UK 100 and as well as German 30. We can see already it's already a bearishing movement. Where exactly the market, I think it's going here, coming all the way back to the position where it was last week. So we're anticipating a bearish movement, couple of pips to be collected there. You can make something at least out of that move to this level. Then after that, it will now start turning, goes all the way up when the GDP from Euro comes, when fresh manufacturing PMI from German comes out. It will start now taking the bullish movement all the way and close the market on Friday a little bit higher, around 18,514, even on 18,626. So that's German 30, UK 100, UK 100, same position. These instruments, they work as pairs, most of them, and you can see how it's been, playing around at the same range of the position. So we are anticipating a drop a little bit of UK 100, at least to these, at least to let me check it out here. at least to this level for today, and then it will start picking up again from Tuesday. From Wednesday, Thursday, because of the news that are coming off. GDP, fresh manufacturing, PMI, sales. Retail and sales news that are coming also on Wednesday all the way to Thursday. So that's actually how I'm seeing the market this week in terms of gold and silver, in terms of US30 and as well as Nasdaq, and as well as UK 100 and German 30. Yeah, so please, man, keep subscribing, on the video, share with other guys. Remember that 360 Capital actually have a 50% bonus if you deposit with $100 above. You put $100 above, you get a 50% bonus, including there's a new promotion of 30% spread deduction, 30% spread deduction to FX pairs as well as metals. So gold and silver, they're part of those instruments that you can trade for actually 30% deduction. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Keep subscribing. Thank you.